Hello and welcome to day 4. And we are nearly through this 5-day program to reduce and eliminate your anxiety now. You have accomplished so much already, and although you may not notice it just in this very moment, change has already occurred. In fact, by you being present in this group and actively seeking a solution to your anxiety, your unconscious mind is listening to your desires and how you want your life to be. The first step to change is the very fact that you have decided to change and eliminate anxiety from your life for good now. Time will show you just what you have already achieved in the last few days and how much you have created that change and achieved what you desire. You hold the keys and you hold the cards, and it is now a matter of you opening the doors and playing your game the way you want to, because it's your life. So today we have a number of activities, and these are all fun and easygoing. The first activity is possibly something you have done before or something you have heard about, and yet I'm going to be very specific in how this is done, because it does affect your state and how you operate if done correctly. This activity is based on affirmations, so listen and read carefully as to how to approach this activity. The main focus of this activity is to import a state through the expression of the word in such a way that you can embody that. This is where distinction in the words and how they are said matters. I'm going to give you some examples so you can appreciate these distinctions and so that you can benefit fully from these affirmations. You are going to use affirmations using the I am method. This is because it is easier to embody the state when said as I am. Next, you are going to select your words to add to I am. At any one time, you might want to be using 2 or 3 I am statements, 4 at most. And after a while, you can circle and cycle through words that are part of your journey to healing so that you can access the resources you have now that have always been there, and yet through this simple action, you will gain access to those resources now. Here is the important distinction. Where you might say, I am loved, to allow you to embody the state of love, the affirmation is I am love. Notice the difference between these two. When you say I am loved, that can have the unconscious and conscious mind looking for external validation, which is great if it is there and will be less supportive if it is not, or you find through confirmation bias or dipping your roller coaster evidence that you are not loved. To affirm I am love means that the love resides within you, and so being allows you to attract love and evidence of love in your life. Remember, emotions are energy, and these various emotions have different energy and frequency. It's a bit like a radio station and you tuning to a certain station. You want to tune yourself to the love frequency rather than loved. Loved also can be implied in the past tense. All resources are available to you now, and so it's important that we respect and acknowledge that by using language that reflects that truth now. How we benefit from the past is from the lessons we have learned and the growth that has occurred. There is also another distinction that I want you to recognise and honour when you do these affirmations, and that is how the word is expressed through the mouth and the tongue and the lips. The most beneficial affirmations are those where the words end in an expansive way. So, for example, love ends with eh, which keeps the mouth open, whereas loved closes the mouth in comparison and the tongue lands down in the mouth. Some words will still end this way, and yet I want you to notice and recognise the power of each word and find the most expansive version and the most available state for you to embody. This might take a little practice, and yet you will soon become aware of these distinctions and apply them easily. Let us expand on these affirmations and look at the various distinctions. Taking the word peace then, the affirmation is I am peace. It could be tempting to use the word peaceful. However, as you practice the two affirmations, notice which one is easier to access the state, which one is easier to embody. The suffix full, which comes from the word full, is an additional state. Think about this for a moment. You can easily and effectively use an affirmation, I am full, and that would allow you to access resources and embody the state of being full, and your mind would work with confirmation bias to find the reasons and evidence that you are full and that your life is full. Therefore, we do not need to add this word to peace or to success, for example. There is more energy in the affirmation, I am success. You will also notice that the shorter and more concise the affirmation, the more energy it has and the easier it is to embody. If, however, you can recollect a time when you felt success and it is evident for you being successful, you might think this is the best way to embody the state. Yet, remember what I said earlier about the importance of the state coming from within rather than from evidence outside yourself. Yes, we can anchor from the past, and yet what is more powerful is to access what is within, and the reason for this is because it will last through the present moment. You embody the state and can maintain that through repeated use of the affirmation. If we utilise the past and anchor from there, we can sometimes reduce the anchor over repeated use. Resources exist now just as they did as a baby that has no life experience. Just think for a moment what it requires for a toddler to begin walking. The toddler is accessing present state resources and knows it is possible through seeing their peers. They are modelling, and yet when they fall down, they do not judge those moments and label them as failures. They simply go back to their internal resources and access the state of success and access the state of progress. We are each a well. That's why it's funny. We are each a well, and our wealth, which is where the word health comes from, is derived from the word well. It is why the old saying was, are you well? We each have this well, and it is so full and so resourceful and is able to continue to supply us over and over again with positive states. This is what the affirmations are for, to access this well that resides within us. So here are some examples of affirmations and the distinctions. On the left is what I believe has more energy, or as I'm saying it, what I say first, and enables you to access the state easier and is in the present tense and avoids confusion with external validation. I am love versus I am loved. I am peace versus I am peaceful. I am success versus I am successful. I am resilience versus I am resilient. I am calm versus I am relaxed. I am confidence versus I am confident. I am thought versus I am thoughtful. I am wealth versus I am wealthy. I am strong versus I am strength. There's not much between these two. I am health versus I am healthy can lead to I am well versus I am health. I am power versus I am powerful can lead to I am empowered versus I am power. I am purpose versus I am purposeful. I am forgiveness versus I am forgiven. I am courage versus I am courageous. I am beauty versus I am beautiful. I am divine versus I am spiritual. I am grace versus I am graceful. I am top versus I am the best. I am guided versus I am driven. I am motivation versus I am motivated. I am choice versus I am chosen. I am special versus I am different can lead to I am unique versus I am special. I am time versus I am on time. I am perfection versus I am perfect can lead to I am progress versus I am perfection. That's an individual preference between those two. Both are powerful. I am calibration versus I am calibrated. I am growth versus I am growing. I am energy versus I am energized. You get the idea, and the most important aspect here is to find the words that resonate for you, that really you can access within yourself. Now, having compared these affirmations to what I notice are mainstream, the differences are in how simple these affirmations are, and therefore our mind does not have to do so much work to understand what we are referring to and what we want to feel. It is your job to make this as easy for your unconscious mind to support you in changing your state and changing your thoughts. From this focus of repeating one or two affirmations, you can bring the state forth, and as you do so, from that moment forward, your thoughts will align with that state. This is a great trick to have your unconscious mind break the pattern of anxiety and access more peaceful, calm, and serene feelings and thoughts. And just as I write this, here I can write a new affirmation, or in this instance, say a new affirmation. I am serene versus I am serenity. So let yourself flow with the words and see what it is you want to feel instead of the unwanted emotion that you can release now. If you choose to simply by taking the very small step of repeating affirmations either out loud or in your head. I find that these affirmations are most powerful when they are said on waking to bring in a sense of calm and a state of choosing regardless of the night before, and again to do the same with repeating the affirmations before sleep. Internally in your head is fine so that you can program your mind to have a calm, peaceful and restful night, allowing you to feel refreshed and energized the following day. So begin today by practicing the affirmations of your choosing. The next activity for today is to begin working with your inner child. Now, this is a huge piece of work that hypnotists and therapists will spend many hours working with a client on in order to resolve habits or problems that may have been caused in the past. Here, I am going to empower you to begin to work with your inner child. This is the beginning of a new relationship with yourself as you begin to discover the inner you and how that inner you is very childlike. What I mean by this is that how we respond to events and experiences is still very much like a child. Even though we have grown and our rational mind has grown and learnt so much more, and we can apply logic to a far greater level than we ever could as a child, when it comes to emotional aspects, we are still a child. We still desire love and look for ways to express love. We still have needs and we still need physical and emotional stimulation. This is now the beginning of your journey to a strong and supportive relationship with your inner child. I want you to recognise that your inner child has and will continue to benefit from internal dialogue from your conscious mind, as if it were a child. All too often we punish and reprimand ourselves over our own behaviour and have anger internally that can be very much the temper of a child, and that is because emotionally we still are. If our needs are not met, in order to survive and to thrive, we must demand them, and if we overly restrain ourselves, we can create an internal conflict. What I want you to do for this activity is each night before bed is to have a short and sweet conversation with yourself, with your inner child, as if you were putting a child to bed. I want you to explore the ways in which you can praise your inner child for the work and progress they have made today and what tomorrow may look like, being optimistic and positive. And yet, when it comes to addressing some of the unwanted things, be it behaviour, responses to our outcomes, to construct language towards your inner child that can receive that feedback in a positive and constructive manner. For example, you were a little anxious today when we were in the meeting. How about practicing that tapping on the top of the head first thing in the morning and beginning to make that habit so you can prevent and manage any situation that might occur tomorrow? Or, it was interesting how you dealt with the person raging in the car today. Perhaps you could think of some other ways to deal with this situation. What could you do differently in future that may allow you to feel more calm and to remain present with your thoughts for the rest of the day? You could even have these actual conversations in a different structure with your partner or a family member on reviewing the day, instead of perhaps what is happening, which might be, I was anxious again today, or I totally lost it, or I went into another panic. And I want you to think about the positive and constructive internal dialogue you can have with yourself when you first wake, thinking of the positive aspects of the day, the things you enjoy, and anticipation and adventure and newness, just like a child does. At first, this might feel a little strange, and I'm not encouraging you to talk to yourself. Yet, what I am asking you to do is look inside yourself and find the helpful voice and language that can help and guide your emotional well-being through the various experiences and events of life. I want you to be your own best friend instead of the scolding enemy. It might require some practice, and yet in time you may begin to realise just how much you punished and scolded the inner you. And now that you have a positive and healthy relationship with yourself, you can see the benefits within your emotional well-being as well as your behaviour. So begin today with a new dialogue with yourself. Identify your inner child and play with that inner being. You can find new ways to connect with this person, and you could do that through drawing or painting, writing and talking, or playing. And you may find this inner child as you play with your own children, or as you notice other children playing and seeing the simplicity of their behaviour and their responses, and the compassion and empathy you have for them, and notice you can extend that to yourself. The next activity for today is a fun one, and I want you to enjoy this activity as much as possible. In the download post, there is a word search that I have created. It is for you to complete, to search and find the words listed on the side. And you may want to do this more than once, so you are free to save this word search and do it again another time. Or you may want to do what I did and do the word search with your children or your partner or with a friend. You are free to send a copy to whoever you would like to partner with if you choose to do that. The final activity for today is to revisit your Wheel of Life assessment. With this re-evaluation, you will have had time to consider the various aspects of your life. You may have had new perspective from the incredible work that you have done with this program so far, and you may be more aware of your triggers for anxiety or the source of discontent, contradiction or conflict in your life. Now is the opportunity to write up a small action plan. The way to do this is in small chunks, because we didn't create massive change in one day unless we wanted it to be that way. So we can always choose to make incremental steps that build up to a big change so that you can notice and that others around you will notice. The way to do this is to find up to 5 things to change in your life, and this is going to be one big thing or reasonably big thing and up to 4 smaller things. Like I have said earlier on in the program, the daily walks and the breathing exercises are small stepping stones to building foundations for your life, and these can be part of your smaller changes. It is like the saying, look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. A big change might be picking a new genre of books to read over the next 6 months, or significantly reducing your exposure to the news and appointing someone close to you to filter the noise and give you the most important elements you need to know. It is not your job to carry the world on your shoulders, and so this is an opportunity to find ways in which you can put it down, allowing the tension to leave your body and giving yourself the opportunity to relax and be yourself, giving you the time to be present in your mind and in your day. So, double check the way in which you scored each of the segments and notice any changes you made and perhaps the reason why you made those changes. It is worth noting that even with a small passage of time that change can occur, and this is the reason for measuring where we feel we are at a given point in time. And even then, on reflection, we can see our growth and our new way of thinking that can give rise to forgiveness of yourself in the past for the way in which you saw things and how it is different now. Then, after checking and adjusting if necessary any of the scores, find the adjustments that you want to make that will improve incrementally yet significantly the wheel of your life. Remember to look at your own segment and decide how that is important to you and what changes are necessary, if any. And most importantly, enjoy the evaluation because you are growing as an individual as you undertake these activities and you are learning more about yourself and increasing your awareness as well as building a strong and healthy relationship with your unconscious mind. That is all for day 4, and I hope you both enjoy the activities and benefit from the changes that they bring. Do post in the group that you have completed the word search. You can time yourself or enjoy doing the word search with an evening drink. The priorities for today are: begin 3 or 4 affirmations to repeat in the morning and before bed. Complete the word search. Begin working with your inner child. And the Wheel of Life reassessment and action plan for change. And I will see you again for day 5. I will be on the live tonight, 8 p.m. GMT, for the live Q&A. So if you've got any questions, do message them to me or put them in the group under the hashtag Ask Me Anything, or comment on this video as well. That would be super useful, and I'll be able to cover those off in the live Q&A this evening. Bye for now.